Hey guys, so Jason Keaton here from Jiu-Jitsu Columbus, and today I got with me Doug and Mikey, and we're talking a little bit about how are you training when you're rolling with your partners? Are you rolling with an ego actually, or are you rolling to learn? And I think, you know, we're discussing that a little bit. So Doug, what do you think about when we talk about rolling with ego versus rolling to learn?
So when you're rolling with ego, you're kind of rolling to fulfill your own happiness and to get that feeling of domination over your opponent.
Right.
And a lot of people don't like to roll with those people because they go 100% all the time, and it's not a very conducive to the learning environment. When you're rolling to learn, you know, you're kind of putting yourself in bad positions, trying to work yourself out of them, and you're not going 100%, you're actually working the techniques.
Right. And I think that's something that people probably don't really understand, you know. I mean, the thing is when I say roll, you know, I mean, if you're not communicating with your partners and your coaches aren't communicating with you to say, hey, lighten up, you know, go, you know, it's good to always communicate with your partners, right? So there's sometimes that, yeah, I do want to roll and I do want to go a little bit harder, and, you know, but if I'm working something that's new to me and my partner's just trying to murder me the whole time, then it's kind of difficult to get it, because I'm not going to be able to, you know, kind of work the new technique a full on, right? So I would say tone it back a little bit. I'll tell my partner to tone it back, and then let's work this a little bit. Or, you know, I'd even give them specific goals, like, hey, if you get this grip or if you get this position, then you're kind of on it, right? Mikey, what do you think about this?
So the ego thing, I think is like awesome from jiu-jitsu, because, you know, if you roll with somebody and you're always, you know, getting that, you know, that ego fulfillment or whatever, you know, you step out of your comfort zone and you roll with somebody who's got, you know, one special move on you, whatever, you know, that can be a real reality check.
Right.
So it's not always about ego. It's
right. And then I want to talk a little bit about ego, because I think some people don't really know what it is. It's, your ego is sort of like your image of yourself, right? It's sort of how you perceive yourself and how you believe others perceive you. So I feel like when people come in, especially after you train a little bit, and, you know, you don't want to be perceived as weak. You don't want to be perceived as someone that is a wimp, right? But the problem is that I think that it might be bad for your jiu-jitsu. So I'd rather say, okay, well, you know, people always say check your ego at the door, but, you know, what is your ego? So that's just kind of part of it. You know, if I could say, well, no one really cares if you tap. As I tell you, you know, being a black belt, I still tap, and, you know, I tap often for my health. You know, if somebody's got me in a heel hook, I'm not going to fight out of it, you know. I'm going to be a knucklehead, right? So it is a lot about, you know, it's like, hey, you know, nobody's going to look at me this way. And I think if your gym culture doesn't really kind of allow for that, then, you know, that's a problem. You know, now we're at Jiu-Jitsu Columbus, we talk a lot about who's the most important person on the mat. Training partner. Right? So we're all here for them, and they're going to be here for us, right? We have a real strong, like, tribe mentality, and something that, you know, we understand is like, hey, you know, if I'm going with a 13-year-old kid, you know, I'm going to have to lighten up. But if I got somebody that wants to work something, then I'm still going to have to lighten up, right? And communication's big with that. Don't you guys think so?
I think so, yeah.
Right. So if you're out there training, and just keep in mind, like, sometimes it is time to kind of roll a little bit harder, but even so, you should be able to learn, right? So even if you're going to compete or whatever, then, you know, you can get a lot out of it. And I would say definitely bring your ego if you're out to compete, right? But during training, you know, let that go. Don't have to work your A game the whole time. All right, you can try new moves and kind of let it happen, but communication with your partner is big. And let them know exactly what you expect, and they'll let you know exactly what they expect. Okay? And I think that's some good guidelines. Don't you guys?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So guys, this has been Jason Keaton from Jiu-Jitsu Columbus, and we'll see you guys on the mat soon. Peace.